I saw Corporate Retreat. Let's talk about it. And please excuse my appearance if I look a little out of it. It's because I'm a little tired. I just got done grilling food outside for a while. So, Corporate Retreat 2026, because apparently there's another movie called Corporate Retreat, is an hour 29-minute horror comedy film about ambitious young executives whose luxury team building getaway turns into a bloody fight for survival against a vengeful retreat leader. Ooh, mystery. Blending dark humor with survival horror, directed by Aaron Fisher, it stars a hefty cast, a really hefty cast, starring Odeya Rush, Sasha Lane, Alan Ruck, Rosanna Arquette, and was released on theaters in May 22nd, 2026. Alright, so this movie was interesting. I walked out of the movie theater confused, but pleasantly surprised. It was not what I was expecting it was going to be, but it was also not something I could say that I've seen before in another movie, which is good. It was unique. I didn't really know how I felt at first, but after I kept kind of thinking about the movie, I have come to the conclusion that I actually really liked this movie, and I would like to watch it again at some point, especially with another group of friends. Not that the friend I went to go see it with, there was a problem, just I would like to see the reaction of other friends. I think watching this movie with a group of friends could be really fun, because it's got a lot of shock value to it. I think the movie was paced pretty good throughout the entire movie. One thing I kind of enjoyed was that it just kind of jumps in, and it didn't really explain anything. It kind of just starts with them getting to this corporate retreat, and it doesn't really give too much backstory about any characters, about what's going on. You kind of just learn everything as you go, which I know, this is how stuff normally works, but I think you guys get what I'm saying, and by the time you are learning anything, shit hits the fan so fast in this movie, it's you barely have time to even process anything, but I don't think that it's a negative thing at all. I think it works really good. I don't think that there was a single time when I was watching this movie that I was bored or waiting for it to end. So I think that's great. Alright, so in the last review, I said that I was going to add a specific scares category for horror movies, and I think we're just going to start doing that for all movies. They're going to have I think each category of movie is going to have, each genre of movie is going to have its own special categories. So for like real scary movies, we'll have the scares. Funny movies, we'll talk about if it was funny or not. Action movies, we'll talk about how much action there was in it. So for this one, the movie wasn't actually funny. It wasn't actually scary. It was more funny. It was a comedy horror. So it leaned a lot more towards kind of gore being the big aspect. And so for this one, I think instead of scares, we're going to talk about the gore, because I feel like that was a really big part of this movie. And I know it sounds bad and sounds a little twisted, but it was the highlight, I feel like. One of the highlights of this movie. If you don't like gory movies, definitely do not watch this movie. You will not, I think, watch it if you want, but for me personally, I think if you don't like gory movies, because they don't bother me, there was some parts in this movie that I genuinely just could not look at the screen anymore. I actually turned all the way around in my seat, and I think those moments are where the movie really shines, and I think that you could get a lot of fun moments, reactions, watching it with your friends. And for that, I give it a plus. It's always great to have something that sticks with you in a movie, And whether it's something that's like so nasty and gross, I feel like even sometimes stuff like that works. This, it was the gore. But the way they did it, it wasn't just nonsensical. Well, I guess you might argue that it was. But yeah, watch it with your friends. It was gross. Okay, so I know I said that it didn't really give much backstory about characters, but I think all the actors and actresses did a really great job at playing the characters that they were playing and kind of making them feel alive. They weren't dull. They weren't like super lovable, but I actually did want to see them like come out on top. And again, usually that's not something that happens in horror movies, and I like that it's becoming more and more common, at least for me personally, at least. Again, I say it every review, if I don't like the characters, a lot of the times I'm not going to like the movie. A lot of the characters had these like kind of over-exaggerated characteristics, which I really liked. So they were very colorful, you know, super douchey douchebag of a boss, super ditzy, you know, CEO, blonde, cutesy lady, you know, the stereotypical stuff, but in a very likable way. Quit saying I gotta quit saying This movie is really weird. I kept saying that the entire time I was watching. I was like, man, this movie is extremely weird, but I liked it. I really, really did enjoy it. I really liked the movie. And I cannot talk about the characters without talking about the main villain and the two chicks from the beginning. Oh my god. Without spoiling too much, one of the creepiest and craziest on-screen characters I've ever seen in my life. I'm really sorry, I don't remember any of the soundtrack that was playing in this movie. I don't know if there's a genuine issue with just like horror movies and I don't hear the soundtrack, or there's actually a lack of soundtrack, or I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess from now on, I'm just gonna only start talking about maybe tracks that really stick with me on movies. And if a movie just kind of had like a lackluster soundtrack, I'll just be like, you know, me. This movie didn't have any crazy unique visuals, I'd say. A lot of the shots were during the daytime, which I appreciated, so I could see. I really do think a lot. I don't know if it's my movie theater specifically, but I've been to a couple movie theaters and I feel like I've noticed. I just feel like it's too dark. It's too dark. And then when I go back and I watch them on my TV, I can see them. I can see the movie. I can see the movie. And I don't know. Maybe it's me. But I appreciated that it was daytime. But I guess we'll leave a lot of the visual aspect to like the gore, which we talked about earlier. That was where a lot of the work went in. I don't think any of it was CGI, which is cool. It's really nice to see, and I know it sounds like weird, and some people might be like, oh, gore, you're into gore, and it's not even really that, but like anytime people do practical effects, I feel like it can look better, you know? But with the gore, you can really leave an impression when you do some good practical effects. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. Excuse me again. All right. Now, for the big question. Did I like this movie? Yes, I did. I liked this movie. This movie was fun. Like I said, I really wasn't too sure about it at first when I was watching it. But like as I was walking out, I was like, man, that movie was kind of freaking crazy. There was, and like I said, there was a couple scenes, like some gore scenes when people talk about like, oh my god, like one of the craziest scenes in movies. There's two scenes in that movie that I will think of. And again, to leave an impact like that after watching something, whether it's like in any type of way, you did something and I'm here for it. I like it, you know. I think it's a great thing. But yeah, I don't know. Basically, I liked the movie. I think you guys should go see it with friends. And that was it. It's going to be it for this awesome, super duper awesome review. I hope I'm getting a little bit better at putting some of my words together. I feel like this one I didn't do that good of a job because I'm not really in a rush right now. I don't have to go to work until 4 in the afternoon tomorrow, and it's like 10 o'clock right now, so I really don't have to technically go to bed for another couple hours. But yeah, also I was supposed to do this a couple days ago. I'm getting kind of worried about how often I should do movie reviews, because I want to do movie reviews for each one, but then I'd also like to be able to do skits for a lot of them. Like this one, I couldn't think of anything to do. But also sometimes it's just hard to make a thumbnail, like this Master of the Universe thumbnail I'm trying to make. I can't even. It's almost impossible. It's gonna end up looking super choppy and real silly, like the passenger one. Oh my goodness, that's definitely the worst one I've done. But yes, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this movie review. I will see you guys in the next video of whatever it ends up being, my guy. Yes. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on twitch.tv/Pooter_Booter_. All of the links will be in the description. I love your face. I hope you love mine back. I hope you love mine. I love your face. I hope you have a good night, good day, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is. Yeah. I'll see you guys next one. Bye.